Hi, so I did my paper on late-term abortion, which is also known as partial birth abortions. This type of procedure is very controversial among the country, the nation, pretty much anywhere. It is because it is a moral, ethical, women's choice, pro-choice kind of thing. This procedure is kind of gruesome. What actually happens is the mother will go in for the surgery and the doctor will go up internally into the mother's cervix and try to rotate the child so that it is breech. In other words, its head is up towards the chest and feet are down to come out of the vagina. And once they do that, the doctor will reach up there, pull the baby's feet down through the cervix, which is the opening to the uterus, and then it'll pull it all the way down until its neck is still stuck in the cervix. And after he does that, he takes a pair of scissors and basically stabs the back of the baby's neck, back at the head, and he will put a suction up there and suction the baby's brain out. And then after he's done with that, he'll pull the rest of the baby out and pronounce it dead. And that is basically how a partial birth abortion goes. It's obviously not a very pleasant thing. It's not very, I don't know what the word is, humane. It's not very humane at all. My thesis statement that I did for this was, the act of late-term abortion puts the mother at risk and is morally unethical and puts the unborn child in serious pain. It is said that women who elect for these type of procedures are only for medical reasons, but that is not always the case. So, for my first section, I had put that this puts the mother at risk. And it really does. It's not just about the baby, it's about the mom, the safety of the mom. She's just as in danger as this unborn child is. So problems that the mother can have was this section by a woman named Sandra Alters, and she had wrote that patients who undergo this type of procedure are at risk for potential complications associated with any surgical mid-trimester termination, including hemorrhage, which is excessive bleeding to the point that they don't think that they can stop it, so the mom could bleed out, infection, and uterine perforation, which means when they go up there to stab the baby, they could miss, they could get a part of the mom's uterus or anything like that, and they could get the mom in serious pain, trouble, danger. So, an integral part of this procedure is an internal version, which is when they go up and get the baby. And then she just talks about the procedure about going up and bringing the feet down in the cervix and making it into a footling breech. The internal version itself, so going up there and turning the baby, is at risk for a uterine rupture and an abruption, which is when the placenta comes away from the uterus, which causes excessive bleeding, and amniotic fluid embolism and trauma to the uterus in general. So, all these things are not pleasant for the mom. They're all deadly. They all could result in maternal death. And a lot of times it just makes people wonder, like, why would somebody go through all this pain just to kill or, get rid of the child that they don't want? The second thing I had talked about was morally unethical. No matter what people's morals are, it can be considered not okay to kill. Like, that's always been a thing with people. Homicides, school shootings, things like that. Nobody likes them. Nobody is like, yeah, let's go do it. Like, they are like, no, that's bad. We shouldn't do that. So why are people like that for those kind of things, but not these kind of things? Because they're essentially the same. So, Morally Unethical was done by a section by a guy named John Kavanaugh, and he had said, unborn third trimester babies are another story. If you think that the patient is reaching out their hand from the womb is anything other than a human being, you are either a fool, a liar, or a victim of illusion and cultural groupthink. So basically what he was saying there is, some people claim that babies who are not technically born yet out of a cervix is not considered a human, because they're not born yet. So, he's basically saying, well, what else could it be? I mean, if it's reaching its hand out to you, if it has hands, if it has feet, then it's not a horse, it's not an alien, it's one of us, it's a human, so why do we look at it differently just because it's inside of a mother? He also said third trimester abortions are homicides. Some people argue that homicides are justifiable to save a mother's life, but do they really think homicide is justified for health, quote unquote? So he's saying basically just because a mom could be at risk for this type of thing, for giving birth to this child, why does the child also have to suffer, or why can't they just, wait a little longer till it's considered viable, because kids are considered viable at 24, weeks and on, so, which is when they can do these type of procedures. And the third thing I had was the fetus does feel pain, which is a huge debate because people claim that, they don't feel pain, they don't know what's going on, all that stuff. But if anybody were to go into a NICU and you were to go up to a baby and give them a shot at 24 weeks, because there are babies in the NICU at 24 weeks and younger, if you were to give them a shot, if you were to pinch them, if you were to do anything like that, they cry. So it's like, if these babies that are outside of the womb can feel this pain, why can't they feel the pain when they're inside the womb? And it's actually a proven fact that neonates, which is babies in the womb, feel pain more intensely than babies that are already born, toddlers, infants. They feel pain worse. So this was a section of a paragraph done by a man named Rich Dean, and he was basically just going through the procedure again, saying that what the procedure is. So he says the procedure, and the baby is born dead. The entire procedure is performed on the fetus without the use of anesthesia, and even though it is clearly capable of feeling pain, which studies have shown that the ability to feel pain begins in the early stages of the second trimester, which is before 16 weeks. So, the other thing he said is it's most commonly performed between 20 and 24 weeks, and thereby raises question of the potentially viability of the fetus. Information from a 1988 through 1991 study indicates a 15% viability rate of 23 weeks gestation and a 56% viability rate at 24 weeks and 79% at 25 weeks. So it just makes you wonder if they're doing these types of procedures with fetuses that are at these ages, and more than half of these types of people, babies, are born at these ages. There's just a huge disconnect there. Like, if the babies are being born at this age, why are they killing them at this age and saying that it's okay? Or saying that they're not humans? So, that's pretty much all there is for this side of the conflict. But the opposing side is said that women only choose late-term abortions because of medical reasons. That is not always true. A lot of the time women choose it because they want it, because they can't have this baby right now, and so they just decide to take it, the easy way out. So this was an article done by a woman named Elizabeth Johnson, and it says, among women in a late-term abortion group in a study, the most commonly cited reason for delaying the procedure was, quote, raising money for the procedure and related costs, end quote. 2/3 of women in late-term abortion groups gave this reason. 2/3. That is also more than half, which is a big chunk of the population that gets this type of procedure done. The second thing that she had said was women who receive late-term abortions also said they had difficulty securing insurance coverage, they had difficulty getting to the abortion facility, meaning it wasn't in their state, or they didn't have a ride, or something like that, and they did not know where to go for an abortion. This is because it is not a super public thing to get this kind of thing done, because it can be frowned upon, so people don't make it public. But there are places all over the US that do this type of thing. So that just goes to show that if we had gone around to all of these late-term abortion groups for girls who had gotten this, these were their answers. More than half of them had said, it is not for a medical reason, I don't have money, I can't get a ride, I don't know where to go. So that's kind of where I'm confused. So this is my conclusion to wrap this up. Late-term abortion is considered a procedure that is not well known as a procedure that is done, most likely because of how gruesome of a procedure it is. Women put their lives at risk to end the lives of a child they don't want, they can't have, or happens to be an inconvenience to their life. But what about the unborn baby? What does that? That doesn't have a voice to speak up for themselves. These kind of procedures completely go against the unspoken moral code of the human race. Based on the above information, studies, facts, and that have been done on this type of procedure, why continue to have it done? The mystery question that people still can't seem to answer. Late-term abortion is harmful for all parties and has no moral integrity behind such a procedure. So, that's my conclusion. That's all I got. I researched a lot about this, and I learned a lot more than I thought that I knew, besides just the procedure as to, why do people do this? What are the benefits? Why do they think it's okay? And it was just boggling to me that some people said that it's not a human, but humans are born at this age, so, that's just why I was really passionate about it and why I really wanted to write a research paper about it so I could learn more. I understand that there's so many circumstances, people could tell so many stories, but the nitty-gritty big picture of it all is that the mom's at risk, the baby's at risk, and the babies feel pain. It hurts them, it's not humane, and it's not done for just medical reasons. So I was really glad I got to research this, and that's all I got.